In Florida, an uncontested divorce is essentially a situation where you and the opposing party have come together and have agreed as to all issues you could possibly agree to. You've agreed to what happens with the house, you've agreed to what happens with the kids, you've agreed to what happens with alimony. There are no issues at issue for you to litigate or fight over, and there's no reason for you to go to a formal mediation. So typically with an uncontested divorce, you're walking into my office, you have an agreement, I draft it for you, and I handle submitting it to the court, and that's the end of an uncontested divorce. It's quick, it's painless, it's easy, and ideally most people would try to have an uncontested divorce, whereas with a contested divorce, you guys are not seeing eye to eye. You're not having an agreement. You guys can't agree almost as to anything or as to a specific issue, and so that's when you have to come in and you have to litigate, you have to file, you have to go through discovery to try to reach a full agreement as to the issues, and if you can't reach an agreement, you go to trial. So the difference is at a contested divorce, you're probably ending up at a formal mediation, you're ending up at trial, whereas uncontested, you're ending up with just a brief 5-minute hearing with the judge that enters your agreement. In Florida, an uncontested divorce can be days. So if you walk in with an agreement, it's signed, all we have to do is file it and get you for a judge. It can happen as soon as the judge has availability. My husband in particular has had a case where he finalized the divorce in 3 days. That's how quickly it can occur. With a contested divorce, you're going into a more lengthy process. So you're looking at least 6 months at minimum, maybe even longer if it's going all the way to trial and to mediation. A contested divorce in Florida is going through essentially the 4 steps of a divorce process in Florida. So you're filing, you're trying to serve the opposing party, you're going through discovery, you're going to mediation, and you're going to trial at the end of the day if you can't settle it at mediation. So it's a more robust process, and sometimes it is required depending on what assets and liabilities you have at issue. In Florida, you do not have to have an attorney during any family law case, even a divorce. However, it is advisable that you have an attorney during a contested divorce because you don't know your rights and you don't know your entitlements unless you talk to somebody who's trained and experienced as an attorney in Florida for divorces. So it's always advisable to at least consult with an attorney to see if you actually want to hire one for your divorce, especially if it's going to be contested. If you have any questions regarding a contested or uncontested divorce in Florida, please contact us at cooperandcooperpa.com to discuss your specific circumstance and situation.